What's going on, guys? I was supposed to release this video on Thursday. That's when I said it was going to be released, but I'm going to do it here on Friday because I didn't have time on Thursday. Sorry. Today I want to do something a little different. Um, I want to do something football related on Thursdays, just kind of like randomly. You know what I mean? But this week I will do a top five offense. Basically, I'm gonna go over the positions in the offense and give you my top five players of that position. So right now I'll start off with the quarterbacks. My top five quarterbacks. I have number five. I have Ben Roethlisberger. He has been a little up and down in the past few weeks and all around the season. He's been looking really good and then been looking really bad, like against the Jaguars, the Bucks, and the Jets. Um, but yet they are still in the playoff race. I believe they have 9 wins on the season, so that leaves them like 9-5 or something like that. So I have Ben Roethlisberger there on number five. Number four, I have Andrew Luck. I mean, no doubt he belongs in the top five by default. I mean, this guy could really make plays, and I think the Colts are really lucky to have this guy because he is probably the face. Although he's going to be the face of the franchise for a very long time, maybe even retire there in Indianapolis. And I don't know, he just looks like an all around um, just I don't know. He's just all around one of the best playmaking quarterbacks on and off the field. He's a good guy. So I mean, yeah, the Colts are very lucky to have the guy. Plus, the Colts, the horseshoe symbolizes luck, and his name is Luck. It's kind of weird, but anyway. Um, Number three, I have Peyton Manning. He just set his record for most touchdowns thrown in a career, going into the early weeks of the season, but he has been on his little decline lately, ever since the Rams game. But I feel that he still belongs in the top five, even the top three, because he goes through his career and you just realize how amazing career this guy had and um, everything that he's accomplished, all the records that he set, back to back records, yards thrown, touchdown passes, touchdown in a single game. I think he tied that with seven. I forgot who else he tied it with, but so yeah, number two is Tom Brady. Now I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Brady. I think he's a little sore loser if you watch him in the playoffs or something like that. I mean, the guy said he literally said, "I will not watch the Super Bowl 48. I will not watch the Super Bowl if I'm not in it." So he said that, but um, the way he plays, he deserves this number two spot, and just the way he plays is all around amazing. And the Patriots built around Tom Brady ever since 2001, I believe, and have been successful ever since due to him. So number one, I have the Aaron Rodgers. Um, I am a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers. I never was really a fan of Green Bay. I knew they were a good team before Aaron Rodgers, but when Aaron Rodgers did come to the team and start playing, I really started paying attention to them, and I believe they're a well-rounded team. And as a Packers organization, they're a well-rounded team, and just Aaron Rodgers just fits the bill for the Packers. I mean, um, there's not really much to say. He's just, if you watch him play, you just know how focused he is, and he's probably one of the most accurate passers in the game, if not the best, because more than Dan Marino. Because I mean, you hit these long stride passes to Jordy Nelson or Randall Cobb, he is spot on all the time. If it's an incompletion, it's probably the receiver's fault. And the Aaron Rodgers is just a really good guy. So good player. So running backs. Now, I am a former running back for a high school team, but I don't play anymore because I moved and I was too late to sign up for a new team where I live now. But for number five, I have two running backs on the same team, like a 1-2 punch. I have Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill. Now, I can't really say who's better, to tell you the truth. That's why I put them both at number five, because last year Gio Bernard had an amazing year, beating out Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and making Ben Jarvis be cut in 2014, and they went with Gio Bernard for their running back. And then they acquired Jeremy Hill from LSU. So far, Jeremy Hill has been looking better than Gio Bernard. Gio Bernard was injured a few times, and Jeremy Hill has just been keep going at it. I believe Jeremy Hill has more yards than he does, um, so yeah, that's why I have them two at number five. Number four, Justin Forsett. I started paying attention to him when I had him on my fantasy team. I had drafted him on my fantasy team. Well, I didn't draft him. What am I talking about? I traded for him on my fantasy team. I drafted Bernard Pierce when Ray Rice was gone, and Bernard Pierce, I don't even know if he's on that team anymore. But yeah, I traded for Justin Forsett, and he's been really good. And he is the third leading rusher, I believe, and he's been jumping around team to team. Nobody took a chance on him, and look at him now. He's the third leading rusher on the Baltimore Ravens. So at number three, I have Jamal Charles. He is an absolute monster. I also have him on my fantasy team. And this guy scores a touchdown almost every game he plays. Almost. I remember one time he didn't score a touchdown. I think that was the last game against the Broncos. But I mean, this guy's always scoring touchdowns. This guy is a huge playmaker. You can tell the difference. You do have Nile Davis, but you can tell the difference when he's not on the field. That it's not as explosive as it should be without him on there. So that's why I have him on number three. Number two, I have Marshawn Lynch from the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, beast mode himself. It's beast mode himself. So I believe he's the fourth leading rusher, if I'm not mistaken. And at number one, this was a battle between DeMarco Murray and Le'Veon Bell. But if you look at how much yards and carries they both have, sure, DeMarco Murray has about 400, 500 yards on Le'Veon Bell. But if you look how much carries, Le'Veon Bell has a low amount of carries compared to DeMarco Murray. So imagine if they had the same amount of carries, who do you think would have more yards? I think it would be Le'Veon Bell. I don't hate on DeMarco Murray. I just feel like Le'Veon Bell is just a better running back. I mean, the guy can receive, he could run it, especially up the gut. I mean, he's a big back. He's a really big guy. So I think he's a better trucker than DeMarco Murray. Probably not more elusive because how his size. But all in all, I think Le'Veon Bell is better. So I have him on my number one spot at running back. My wide receivers, number five, I have Deshaun Jackson. Always love this guy, even on the Eagles. I mean, this guy is just huge. It's so explosive. Punt returning, kick returning, receiving, all of that. He's a deep zone threat, and he's just really good. And now he's on the Redskins, and he's not showing how good he could really be. But I know he has that potential, and I think he should stay on the Redskins because I think they need him. So as long as they have a good quarterback. But number four, I have Dez Bryant from the Cowboys. He showed up to beat us twice, the Giants, and every time I watch him, he's always scoring for a touchdown more than 30 yards. So, I mean, no doubt, even though I don't like this team, no doubt I have to be fair and put him on the spot. I have to. So, Dez Bryant's at number four. Number three, I have T.Y. Hilton from the Indianapolis Colts. T.Y. Hilton is such a small receiver. I believe he's like 5'9". Well, not that small compared to my height, but as a receiver, he is pretty small, and he is so speedy. Not only is he small, he is such a deep threat. As a small guy, that's kind of hard to do because your defenders are usually taller than you, so it's harder to catch that ball. But I mean, this guy, and then Andrew Luck has to throw it a little lower for him to catch it, being how short he is, and they still always connect. I mean, the guy had 240 yards against the Houston Texans, and the Houston Texans secondary is actually really good. So this guy's unstoppable, to tell you the truth. Unfortunately, he might not play against the Cowboys. Hopefully he does, but yeah. Antonio Brown is what I have at number 2. This guy catches passes. This guy sometimes rushes on a swing pass, a swing, forgot what they call it. Oh, sweeps. And he also throws touchdowns. Like, he is an all-around receiver. This guy is so good. But I have him at number 2 because I have to go with my guy, Odell Beckham Jr. I know it's a little bit biased, but I only have one more Giant player on here, and he's on the tight end. So, Odell Beckham, man. Odell Beckham. He made that catch of the century. Not only that, he missed 4 games out of the season, and he already has 972 yards. I think 71 receptions and 13.7. I don't know. You could do the average on that. That's the average, I think. And oh yeah, 9 touchdowns. 9 touchdowns. He missed 4 games out of the season. He's already gonna have 1,000 yards. There's 2 games left. Think about that. He could probably have 1,100 yards on the season, and he's a rookie. So, not only that, Eli Manning has been looking to him way more, being that he's been getting 11 receptions, 12 receptions, 10 receptions. So, he's been looking. Eli's been looking for him a lot more, and I believe he's just that clutch. So, for the tight ends, I'm just going to keep this simple. Tight ends, I have number 5, Larry Donnell. He is inconsistent, but he is a huge red zone threat because of how tall he is. He is 6'6". He's not taller than Rob Gronkowski, but he is taller. He is bigger than these defenders mass-wise, so he is going to beat you out in the end zone, and it's probably a obvious touchdown for the Giants if get in the red zone with Larry Donnell. Anthony Fasano is what I have 4th. Being that no wide receivers on the Chiefs have touchdowns, who are you going to throw to? Either your running back or your tight end, Anthony Fasano. He has been looking really good for the Chiefs. He's really becoming a face there, and I think he's going to have a good future there for the Chiefs. He's been catching the touchdowns for these wide receivers. So, number 3, I have Jason Witten. He is the tight end for the Cowboys. He's been there for a very long time. I think 11 years going on now. And I don't know. He's always finding a hole in the defense, and has a lot of yak, which is yards per catch, yards after catch. And every time he catches the ball, really, I mean, he does go down pretty easily. But once he catches it and runs, it's really hard, to try to get him there. So that's why I have him number 3. Number 2, I have Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham has been looking amazing on this season, but he still has his faults. I mean, I watched him fumble a few times, fumbles that shouldn't have happened. I watched him drop a few passes, especially in the end zone. So that's why I have him at number 2. Not only that, Jimmy Graham is arguably a wide receiver. He does line up on the outside. He does line up in the slot. So I remember beginning the season, the 2014 season. He wanted to be a wide receiver, but I think it was the owner or something like that wanted him to keep him a tight end. So he would be a wide receiver if he wanted to. So number 1, I have Rob Gronkowski. There is no doubt right now. Rob Gronkowski is the best tight end in the game. He also makes amazing catches. The guy is huge. Not only that, he's huge. He's pretty fast for a guy his size. So being that size, and you can run pretty fast, catch the ball, break tackles, and spin move at that. I mean, the guy spins and he's 6'7". That's pretty crazy. But Yeah, that's why I have him at number one. The best O line in I didn't pick out individual players because you can't really do that. It's really like a team effort. But the best O line in football right now in the NFL is the Dallas Cowboys. They've made DeMarco Murray look like I don't mean the best running back in the game, like he's Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith or something like that. I mean, this guy was decent going into the season, but then turned out amazing, and now the leading rusher in the game. So that's my top five offense players on offense. Let me know who you think is your favorite wide receiver, quarterback, running back, offensive line, tight end, and tell me why. And if you like my top five, give it a like or something. Subscribe, and next week I'll probably do top five defensive players, which I'm gonna have a lot of fun with. And then after that, when the season is finished, I am going to go through the impact of the Giants players from the 2014 draft. So that's what I'll be doing on the next two Thursdays. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.